First of all, first things first, darlings, I would like to say a happy birthday to my girl Simplicity Cachet, darling. It is her B day. So shouts out to you, beloved. I hope you have fun. I hope you twerk it up responsibly. Drink if you're of age responsibly. Um, I prefer to drink at somebody's house, somebody that you know and trust and love house. That way, if you get drunk, you already at home. You ain't gotta go nowhere. That's the turn up for real. So happy birthday to you. I also want to give a shout out to a good bit of people. Last week I asked you guys to in last week's review of Real Housewives of Atlanta, of Southport Atlanta, I asked y'all to name the song that I was singing in last week's review, and many of you named the song. It was a pretty easy one, especially if you're a kid of the '90s, darling. I was born in 1989, so although I'm technically, an '80 born baby, I grew up in the '90s, and I was born September of '89. Year Rhythm Nation, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, something like that. But anyway, here's the shout out, you guys. I'd like to give a shout out to my girl Too Feisty 2007. Love her forever and a day, darling. Shouts out to Megan Battle. Shouts out to you, beloved. I believe your middle name is Walia or Yalia. One of those, I believe. But shouts out to you, Megan, beloved. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. And yes, God. Shouts out to Properly Bonafide. I love that profile picture, Mama. Thank you for subscribing. Um, I would like to shout out to love DeAndre Stevens. Shouts out to you, love. Awesome, awesome person. Shouts out to Anonymous Me. Shouts out to my girl Stephanie McNeil. So there you go, you guys. Y'all name that song and pooch it up. And of course, if I just so happen to feel something on my spirit and I sing it in here, then y'all already know what to do, child. Be looking out for the shout out for next week. So anyway, this episode was actually really a pretty good episode. It was very kind of touching or whatever. It touched something in my heart, Miss Chalet. It started off with Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore Hair Products, and Phaedra. They being on the road and basically dipping it and doing it. They're on the way to Flint, Michigan, because Phaedra, she was able to help some kids go to camp with the money that she raised from the pop up shop last week with all the girls' help. She was able to raise a good bit of money, and she was able to send 150 of the kids to camp, free of charge. The kids who suffered from the Flint, Michigan crisis. So although full of shit, Phaedra is at times, um, she is very charitable, and she is for the right thing, and have no issue with helping people, and she's very intelligent. And all, you can't take that away from her. You can say what you want to say about Phaedra, but she does have a good heart. She really, really does. But it was just very interesting that she chose my girl, Miss Kenya Moore, Miss Twirl on these hoes, as Matt wrote, on the window as he busted it. Um, it was very interesting that she decided to get that Phaedra asked Kenya to go, but she is from Michigan, Detroit. Shouts out to Detroit. Got a whole bunch of family members in Detroit. Um, it was interesting that she didn't, ask Portia. But of course, if Portia and Kenya would have been in the same place, that would have been a mess. So I do understand why. And I do understand why, on one hand, why she asked Kenya to go to Troy, Troy, with her. But yeah, it was just very. It's just like all of a sudden they just started back being really cool. All of a sudden, it's just, I guess, it's just like hell. Kenya gonna start shit on the show. She's always gonna be either on Andy's right or left. That first woman in that seat, because the person who basically started the most shit this season is always sitting near Andy. And she's been doing what she had to do to have that first seat beside Andy. Um, and so it's just like, well, hell, it looks like Kenya ain't going nowhere, so you might as well join her team instead of being against her. I don't know. But Very, very interesting. Anyway, they look like they had fun on the way up there. It was Thelma and Louise. Because the name of this episode was Thelma and Louise Take Flint. So it was cute. They had on their little scars. Ryan, she had got a Cadillac, and it was adorable. Um, so they was on the road for however long hours. I'm assuming, from Atlanta to Michigan. But I know from here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, where I'm at, it took. We went up there years ago. I think it took like 12 hours, something like that. So, ooh, child. It was a trip, darling, darling. It was a trip. Having all your family, like, we had rented two vans and we went up there to see our uncles and cousins and stuff. Oh, Lord. Those moments. Hmm. Anyway, shouts out to my Uncle Pete who passed away. It was my great uncle, my grandmother's brother. Shouts out to him. Yeah, shouts out to my grandmother. And shouts out to my Aunt Mildred, which was their other sister. So shouts out to all of them. I just got a little sad right now. Okay. Let me unpack this video back up. Anyway, nostalgic moments, darling. You get to talking and memories start popping up out of nowhere. So anyway, they arrived at the camp. Um and Kenya, they, they went into their rooms or whatever. It had a little star on outside of the door in the little camp rooms. And Kenya opened the door. She immediately started clowning in the room. She was just like, "What the hell is this?" And basically it was just a bed and a little closet. And there you go, push come to shove, pooch, pooch, pooch. And Phaedra, she went to camp. She was young and everything. She was just like, "Child, all I had was just a bed with no air conditioning in the camp, and so you had to do what you had to do." When I went to camp, when I was like, I believe 13 or 14, we didn't have air conditioning in our cabin either. We had to crack the window boots, and we had one bathroom, and it was a group of guys. We all stayed together. It was like 7 or 8 of us, and then of course the camp counselors, or whatever we'll call them. It was two of them, um, and it was just one bathroom, child, one toilet, and I love the bathroom is my place of peace. That's why I love to go in the bathroom, child, and I'm very, most of the time anyway. I don't have no issue with pushing them babies out, if you know what I mean, pushing them good old brown babies out. So, and it's just I'm very flowing. Go twice, sometimes 2, 3 times, sometimes 4 times a day, child. No, at that point, I'm probably sick or something, but at least twice a day most of the time, or at least once a day. I'm not clogged up, is what I'm trying to say, guys, for the most part. So imagine that struggle, having to share the bathroom with what, 7, 8, sometimes 8 other people. Child, bye. And they all waiting on you because they have activities and stuff, and everybody has to take a shower at a certain time. Everybody can't stay too long in the shower and this and that. And me being an only child, you know, so it's just like, the kids had to adapt, darling. It's like I was in a marriage. But it was just like, Kenya, why is you clowning this place? Like, child, please. But then, she ended up, getting all right. She ended up staying in the room after she clowned it. She had to take those damn barking ass, little pissy, shitty ass dogs with her. Twirl and King. Child. So, they got on this little cart and they rode around the camp. Some of the women who worked at the camp, they was giving them a tour of the place, and they had horses and stuff in a lake. It was quite festive. It was very cute. And a lot of the kids came up to Kenya. Kenya yelled out to them, said, "I was Miss USA." And then the kids was just like, puppies. They ain't give a damn about her being Miss USA. It was so funny. I was just like, I cannot. And the ladies who worked at the camp who was driving, they was clowning Kenya ass too. It was just like, Kenya, have a seat. But Kenya looked great this episode. In her confessionals with that big curly hair and that shiny, I believe it's a dress that she had on. She looks great. Kenya's a beautiful woman. She just starts shit. That's all. It's just, Lord. Most of the time, not all the time though. But yeah, she looked great. And then, just in camp in general, she just looked very natural. Her real hair just flowing in the wind. Just gorgeous, gorgeous black Barbie. She is. But some people just ain't gonna never like her. Cause she done fucked up. She came on the show wrong, and as much as Kenya try to do right, people are gonna never forget your past. So first impressions is everything. She came on this, being bossy, star shit, drama. So hell, I mean, it is what it is. She ain't gonna never fully recover from that. It's so funny whenever on Andy's show, whenever they be doing all the polls and stuff of whose side you're on, and she always loses all the time. But anyway, speaking of that, Nene was on there on Watch What Happens Live, and apparently she's not close to Phaedra and she's not close to Portia because we went back to the whole Jamaica thing when she came, and she thought that at the time Phaedra and Portia was the closest to her out of all the girls. Remember around that time she even fell out with Cynthia, but they had got back okay. Um, and she mentioned the fact that yeah, there was a little like why you here and stuff, and they never really talked to her when they was all in Jamaica together and all that kind of stuff. It was just like, wow. And Portia claimed she didn't know where Nene stayed, but she was eating at Nene's house and all this other kind of stuff. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I feel like if Nene was to come back on the show, it would be a trip. Like, I feel like she would be honestly on the team with Cynthia, Candy, and Kenya. And then, of course, on the other team, you would have Sheree, Phaedra, Portia. Who else? I believe that's it. So it's a mess. It's a goop. It really, really is. So anyway, getting back to the whole camp thing. They wake up for the next day. And this is like the big activities day or whatever. They had like a little meeting, where they sit down and talk and like reflect. Kenya spoke, and Kenya, she was talking to the kids. Their ages stem from like 7 to 17, I believe they said. And she was just saying, just don't let people get you down. And I tried in the same beauty pageant for like 3 times, and I finally got it, which was Miss USA. Um, and just believe in yourself and keep doing your thing. And how many of y'all have told that y'all wasn't good enough and that y'all wasn't light enough or whatever, and many of the girls raised their hands because many of the little girls was dark skinned and everything. And so I was just like, it's just Kenya. She is a good role model. She was just like, what you tell them when people come for you is you say you twirl on them. They got this little boy. He gonna be a bad little queen when he get older. They had this little guy named Larry with this curly hair. He said the Kenya was his idol. I was just like, oh, why is these little kids watching Real Housewives of Atlanta? But whatever. And they hugged and all that stuff, and she was just like, what? When people say stuff about you, she was like, what do people say about you? He was like, they always ask why my hair so curly, and Kenya was just like, well, you know what you say to them? You say I'm gone with the wind, fabulous, and twirl. And he said that and twirled, and I fell out laughing. And she had all the kids twirling and shit afterwards. It was a fool. It was hilarious. It was a cute scene though. So later on, they had like a little talent show where the kids was like dancing and stuff. Then they had like a serious moment where the kids got up and a lot of them, went into detail about their experiences in their life. And this one guy who had pretty hair, pretty like sandy brown hair, like reddish hair. He got up and he talked about the fact that he never really had a relationship or knew his mom or dad. And he got emotional, and a lot of the kids had been through a lot in Michigan. So that was a beautiful scene seeing them, and both Phaedra and Kenya got up and hugged them, and they said thank you for doing this for us, for taking a week and stuff out of our life, and It was very it was a touching scene. It was. So later on, they had like a little bonfire moment, and it was quite nice. And both Kenya and uh, Phaedra both agreed to just be civil and be peaceful towards each other and all that good stuff. And they always do these little beautiful ending moments, these little beautiful scenes and all the shit. But it don't last long, of course. So anyway, we get back to Atlanta. Let's skip to something else. We have Portia. Portia, and that little silly ass boyfriend of hers, just like her, Todd. They're talking and shooting the shit, and apparently they posted some kind of Instagram video, and they got back to Todd's job, and it was just like, you know what, you need to decide and pick a team on what the hell you want to do. Like, this is our company, we don't represent this kind of stuff, etc. I guess they don't like the fact that he Whew, child, excuse me. I guess they don't like the fact that he's on TV or whatever the hell. Um and they was just like, look, it's either you have to pick between our company or your relationship. So he picked Portia. And Portia haven't seen him in a while because she's been working a lot. And she's just like, what the hell you do that for? She was just like, I done built a place for me and just strictly for me and my child. Um and the fact that you coming up in here with no funds, it's worrying me and it's scary. The fact that you just can up and quit your job, which means that I'm gonna have to pay for everything and everything gonna be on me. She didn't say that part, but that's basically what it was. So I pretty much don't get it. A little later on in the episode, Portia is in the bed with Shamia. Hmm. To be honest, like the whole thing of Phaedra calling Candy out, saying that they slept with Shamia and Todd and all that. I honestly think Portia, Phaedra, and Candy playing the pussy pond. If I'm being serious, I genuinely do. I just get that vibe from them. I don't know, but whatever. Um, so Shamia on the bed hitting her. We all know what Phaedra said about Shamia, so Shamia and Phaedra ain't cool like that no more. But anyway, Todd, he knocks on the door. Portia's in bed, by the way. She's sick and stuff. Cause she says just been going through a lot of stress and she been fainting and stuff. Oh, my voice. So I don't know what the hell's going on with Portia, but she just need to chill out, child. She's probably working too hard, and then I'm sure the whole Todd thing is stressing her out. So anyway, Shamia, she goes downstairs to let Todd in. Todd comes in just to grinning, and Shamia fixes him something to eat and drink, and gave him some tissue, and she walked out the door. Um, and then him and Todd is talking about the whole situation. His whole argument is that they never really get to see each other because she's always working and this and that. And well, you can go back to DC. Well, somebody has to work, Todd. You don't quit your job. The hell you want her to do? So it's just foolishness. This is another storyline with Portia I don't necessarily believe, but whatever. I mean, how many of these storylines are actually real anyway? So yeah. Okay. So Kenya and Phaedra was in Flint, Michigan, while Cynthia was moving into Candy's house. Beep, beep, beep. She was backing up, child. She was just like, I got some loads, child. Candy was like, you got some loads. So Cynthia, she popped out that damn Febreze. She said she didn't want to blow up their bathroom. I hollered. Um, and Cynthia bought her own damn snacks. She bought some oodles and noodles. She bought some damn Ritz crackers. She bought some Cheetos. She bought some naked juice. She bought her tampons, some icy hot, some cough drops, some Deer Park water, a couple of grocery bags, a couple of trash bags, and a picture with her and Noel. I hollered. I was like, damn. She was just like, I just come to stay just a couple of days, child. And she talking about her. As you walk down the steps, that's where Candy has all her photos and stuff, pictures hanging up on the wall. And Cynthia was just like, child, my picture look cute up here. Cynthia was hilarious in this episode. Um, So she went downstairs to the guest room. The guest room is amazing. I'm assuming it has its own bathroom. Like it's just its own little private quarters. It's to be honest, the guest room is perfect. It genuinely is. Like you could just live down there. I don't know if it's a fridge down there or what. I believe it is. It's like a whole downstairs. A whole downstairs is just like a whole nother like house or something or apartment. It's. I was just like, yes, God. Like Candy got it made for real. So anyway, Cynthia ended up saying just like, the camera showed like 1 or 2 nights, whatever. I doubt if she actually stayed there. But she ended up getting the house, so good for Cynthia. Um, so let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Okay, Sheree, she had a scene with Bob. Bob's still trying to win her back. And she really don't want nothing to do with Bob, just having him work and, sweat and work and sweat and work. Apparently, they went to Paris, way, way back in the day, when they're in love. When they were in love, they're not in love anymore. Well, some days I still wish I was in love again. Anyway, a little Mariah cut, darling. Um, they when they was back when they was married, I'm assuming they had some kind of date or went on a trip or whatever to Paris, and Todd was trying to flirt with some girl, and I guess Sheree said something to him, and he threw a drink in Sheree's face, and she started punching the shit out of him, and they got kicked out the country. Just a mess, just some hood shit. Bob and Sheree done been through a lot for real. So anyway, he takes her to this little cabaret thing, he puts on a little performance for her and shaking it and all this kind of stuff, and it's just very cute. Bob has a good personality, he really does. That's about it. Um, so let's see. They're talking and shooting the shit, and he's just excited and happy that Sheree's a good woman, and he just apologizes for how he did her all these years and yada 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 yada. Okay, so the final scene was Phaedra wanted to get up with all the girls and wanted to talk to them. You know, let them know how the trip went, and she wanted to set up a little trip with them. So all the girls showed up, um, and I'm trying to think like the order of how everything happened with the whole little argument. Okay, Phaedra, she wants to go camping, with the girls, and the girls are just like camping, like what the hell? She was like glamping. So I'm sure they're not really gonna be camping like out in the woods, but we'll see. Um, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be funny. So anyway, all of a sudden, Kenya, I've never called her Kendra, I don't think. Anyway, all the girl Kenya child, she all of a sudden brung up the fact of since we're going camping, and Phaedra, since you brought up the fact that Portia wanted to talk to us about her anger management, I would just like to know, how are you going to be good? Are you going to be good on the trip and everything? Portia was just like, what? Portia was like, I never said that to you, and I really don't know what the hell you're talking about. Kenya was just like, no, Phaedra said that, you said that, you're taking anger management classes, that you want to discuss it with us, let us know that you're fine, that you're good. Phaedra sitting there looking like a deer in the headlights, and they showed back a clip, and she actually did say that. But of course, Kenya would pick that time to bring that up, and that had nothing to do with anything to bring that up anyway. So I was just like, okay, it's just Kenya being Kenya child. So why she will always be on the show because she brings the ratings. Um, so anyway, they're talking, and then all of a sudden, Portia was just like, "Look, I feel nothing but negativity coming from you." Kenya was just like, then that's when Candy chimed in, and Candy was like, yeah, so we just want to know your triggers. Like, what's your triggers? Portia was just like, okay, like Cynthia, you kicked me, you got what you deserve. Kenya, you're the reason why you got your ass whooped. And Candy, you all knuck if you buck. Why you acting like you scared or whatever going on the trip with me? All the girls agreed that they wasn't scared of her or Kenya because they're sitting right there with her now. Phaedra really wasn't saying much, to be honest. Um, Candy was just like, girl, like, we just want to know the triggers and everything. Portia gets defensive, like anybody would. And she was just like, Candy, I don't know what's your issue. And Candy starts to curse a little bit. Portia was just like, I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to, Candy. And Candy was just like, I can say whatever the hell I want to say. Well, no, if you up there, like, get up there. Like, you can piggyback your ass up out the way. Because Portia was just like, she don't like the fact that how they piggybacked off what Kenya said, meaning Cynthia and Candy. And they ended up getting up, both Candy and Portia. Portia ended up walking on. Sheree ended up following her, and Phaedra and Kenya. And Phaedra's just like, Kenya, I just don't think it's a good idea if you follow me. Kenya was like, why? If she's on anger management, she's good. I have nothing to be afraid of. I was just like, Lord, Kenya. She's not like this in real life. I guarantee you she's not. She would have been laid out somewhere in somebody's field. But she has, the cameras and everybody there, like, protecting her, so it's not that big of an issue. So they ended up walking off. All of them look great though, walking across the street and shit. And Portia was just like, Kenya, why are you here? I don't want you here, Kenya. It's just like, oh my gosh, I don't know you. Why are you here? Portia ended up speeding off. Cynthia and Candy was pretty much over it anyway. They pretty much got in their damn cars. But later on, it had gotten dark all of a sudden, and damn, Kenya and Sheree had started to get into it because Sheree was just like, Kenya, you do provoke people. And that's when Kenya started flying off the handle. And she was just like, what? Let's not start on me. Like, why is it always me? Let's not get on me right now. Like, why I issue and everything? And I didn't do anything. And um, Sheree, like, why do you even have anything to say? And because Sheree brought up Matt, and she was like, "You do provoke people. Look at Matt. He busting out your windows and stuff." So that's when Kenya put out this whole thing about Sheree apparently being in an abusive relationship in the past, and Sheree was just like, "What the hell is you talking about? I was never in an abusive relationship. Whatever. All this alleged. I've never heard of that, but whatever. I don't know her. I don't know none of these helpers, so whatever." Um, and she was just like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And they started throwing shots back and forth at each other. And Sheree was just like, "Boo, you mad because you ain't on my level anyway." So Kenya gets on the ground and start waddling, talking about I'm on Sheree's level and this and that. Child, it was a mess. Portia ended up coming back. Candy left, Cynthia left, and Kenya left, of course. And Sheree, Phaedra, and Portia ended up walking upstairs. Portia was just basically like, she didn't want to leave just like that and put like Phaedra in an awkward situation, and basically put her in the same category as the rest of the girls because she viewed Phaedra differently because she has more respect for Phaedra. So she gets up there, she's talking to them, and she was just like, you know what? Like, you need to watch Kenya. Like, don't trust her. It's okay if she cries to you about Matt and tell you all her business, but don't you tell her nothing, none of your business. She's done too much, Phaedra. Don't you need to watch your friend. And Sheree talking about what Kenya said about her. And it was just a whole damn big mess. But Phaedra's just like, yeah, you're right, and I understand it, and I never said that, yada yada. Um, so who the hell knows the rest of the season what the hell is going to happen. But next week looks very interesting, because all the girls are going on a camping trip, and it looked like Marlo was sitting down there. So it's going to be a mess. And I believe Lauren is coming, which is Portia's little sister. So it's just very interesting. And it's the full as usual, just mess on top of mess on top of mess. Y'all tell me what y'all thought about this review and this episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you guys saw it, hopefully you did, darlings. Um, it's writing a 4-page letter, and I'm trying to close it with a kiss. Anyway, I'm Mr. Chalaki. Mr. Chalaki on Google Plus. Follow me at It's King's World on Instagram and Twitter. At It's King's World on Snapchat. At It's King's World 89 on Snapchat. Chase King was here on Facebook. But anyway, all the correct information be in the bottom bar below, child, because I don't seem to know. I never seem to know. Also, I would just like to say this: R.I.P. to Bishop Eddie Long. He passed away recently. I believe he was 63. I know he was sick. Apparently, he had cancer or whatever for a while. So, rest in peace to Bishop Eddie Long. I'll give him that. So anyway, I would like to say, bye and thanks for watching.